on camera. Live TV. Nothing I can do about that. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're watching this on live TV, thank you for letting me in your home each week. Because this is a face you can love, to hate, or something. Anyway, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Because I got a lot of good content for you. And you're going to love the show. And if you like the episode, hit the like button too. You know, and give me a comment down below. Because I love reading those things. Right, Michael? We love reading. And we just sit around sometimes and we just read them. Even when you guys tell us how dumb and hateful words. And anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I have an awesome interview for you guys tonight. I'm continuing my coverage of the Game On Expo in Mesa, Arizona. What a time. What an amazing time, because I met amazing people. 8-Bit Eric is the guy I interview today, and he's more than just this guy that you see on the Game Chasers. No, kids. There's a story here. Long before the Game Chasers, there was 8-Bit Eric. And he tells us that story. And it's just fascinating, the guy. He a really nice guy, great guy. All those guys, just amazing people. It was an honor to meet them, honor to interview them. So I'm just going to cut. I just ramble sometimes. I need to shut up and just let you guys watch the video. Here you go. Hey guys, Joel VALLIE from Media Glitch here, and we are at the Game On Expo here in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm here with 8-Bit Eric. 8-Bit Eric, thank you for your time, man.
What's up, man?
I appreciate it.
How's it going?
And I like to do like breaking in stories, like what possesses you to one day wake up and say, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I'll just give you the mic, you can hold it.
I always kind of had one. Originally it wasn't gaming at all. Actually it was wrestling oriented and just randomness, because back when YouTube was actually started, it was always about just random. I mean, the first YouTube video ever was Day at the Zoo. So it was always about random shit. And then I didn't know people did video game videos to begin with until I saw, actually the first channel I ever saw was Irate Gamers, then it was AVGN, then it was Gaming Historian, then it was Derek Alexander, Happy Video Game Nerd, and I was like, oh wow, you know, at the time, in the early 2000s, nobody really cared about old Nintendo,
Right.
Nobody cared about Atari, nobody cared about any of that stuff, so at the time it was cool to see games that I forgot about or that nobody really talked about, and it was like, all right, and it took me a while. It wasn't until about 2011 that I started to try to do videos and do things of that nature that were gaming oriented.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's still a work in progress. I'm not a professional. I don't come from a video background.
Right.
So everything that I do, I'm basically self-taught or watching people what they do. So yeah.
Right. But that doesn't take away from the passion and the love that you have for video games, and that's what's important, right?
Well, yeah. I like to think that my channel is more than just about video games. It's just there. Like, especially with gaming, it's oversaturated, and so I basically, if I feel like putting something up, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I don't worry about thumbs downs. I don't worry about comments. I don't worry about any of that. It's the only reason why I'm still doing it is because I've been doing it for so long.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so.
And now, your channel has a lot more subscribers than me, that's for sure. Is there a certain video where you kind of like seen it kind of take off? Is there a certain one you remember, like, holy cow, man, people are watching this thing?
The stuff that is most successful is the stuff that happens by accident. My best video that does the highest is a GTA 5 news story where the manager got fired from GameStop, and I'm just talking about it. And that was a video that I had that I was just like, wow, watch this video, guys. This chick's crazy. And to this day, I get like comments on it every day because GTA 5, GameStop. You know, and it wasn't a GameStop hate video. It wasn't a GTA 5 hate video. That one, of course. Then there's other stuff. Like after Paul Walker died, I like a year or two before that, I reviewed a Fast and the Furious game. That one took off. A Michael Jackson video took off. It just happens. Like it's weird because you can never really figure out.
It's luck sometimes, right?
Well, it has to do with what people are searching,
Right.
and what it shows up on their feed. You'll be surprised at what trends out there that's not even gaming related, but it will show up on the side of a gaming video. Just It's whatever a Google search topic is that day. It's all basically a crapshoot, especially because YouTube works differently every month.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I know you mentioned subscribers. It's not about subs at all, to be honest. Subs really don't affect anything there's successful channels that have no subs. A success is measured and however you feel about it. If you have 30 subscribers and you're getting 500 views a video, you're getting more of an audience than what you have.
Right.
So that's successful. If your audience is watching 67% of your average view duration for your video, that's success. If you make a 20-minute video and your audience doesn't drop off below 60 or 50%, you're keeping 50% of your audience. Television shows have to fight for it. Like pro wrestling, for example, they live and die by how much viewership they get. If it drops below something, they're done. YouTube is unfortunately starting to get that way because corporate mainstream companies are getting channels. You got CBS as a channel, CNN that has a channel, Fox News has a channel, WWE that has a channel, NBA, NFL. They're coming and taking money that they don't have to worry about paying for. It's essentially becoming television without being on broadcast. Right. So it unfortunately hurts guys like us because it's no longer about individuals, it's corporations. So if you don't got money, you're not loaded, it is a passion project like you said.
And how do you hook up with the Game Chasers? Because you're always on their episodes and stuff.
I actually knew them for about almost a year before they started Game Chasers. Billy was, I did a 200th subscriber, like, hey, at 200 subs, I'm going to have a giveaway. He was my 200th sub, and we used to comment back and forth on each other's videos. At the time, he was not doing Game Chasers. They came to San Antonio to film game hunting with me, and Game Chasers wasn't out yet. They say, hey, we're going to come to town, we're going to film, we're going to go look for games, we're just going to shoot the shit. It's going to be a new idea that I'm doing on the channel. And I was like, okay, cool. They came down like 2 weekends in a row, and that same weekend that they were in town filming with me was when episode 1 came out. So even Jay and his cameraman didn't know what Game Chasers was going to, like, it was all a surprise. Billy was working on it secretly, and he revealed it, and it just went from there. So I knew Billy, he had, not even 200 subscribers on his channel, and no Game Chasers at all. He was pickup videos, which I think they're all private now. He took them all down, and that was it, yeah.
Awesome. And I remember I was watching your channel one day, and you said, yeah, I'm a wrestler. I get into wrestling. I was like, what the hell? That's so weird. And how did that come about? How did you get into that?
Well, San Antonio has a pretty big wrestling history. Southwest Championship Wrestling was there in the 80s. I used to go to local wrestling shows when I was in high school, and I ran into a Lucha Libre promotion at a flea market in town, and they were the only ones that were willing to train somebody that was underage. So I did it. I started when I was 15. I was in football, amateur wrestling, pro wrestling. I was a lot more athletic than I am now. Once I got hit 25, I stopped. So it was interesting to try it out. It was something I wanted to do as a kid. I grew up watching wrestling. I just spent my 15th anniversary in March wrestling. So I'm 32. That's half my life that I've been wrestling. Wow. It's pretty neat. I've gotten to meet a lot of people, a lot of older wrestling veterans from San Antonio. Tully Blanchard, Manny Fernandez, Chavo Guerrero, Dusty Wolf, Rudy Gonzalez. Lots of guys have mentored me throughout the years, and it's a really, San Antonio's a hotbed for wrestling.
Awesome. I've noticed you've been doing some streaming and stuff as well.
Yeah.
How do you compare that experience with just normal YouTube in general?
When you live stream, you have to be on. You have to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you're doing radio or something. You got to be on. You got to make sure that you got to be a lot more attentive when you're live streaming because you have a live chat. You don't want to neglect the people watching you. And luckily, my audience is not huge to where, like, Cinemaskers, for example, when they live stream, it's impossible to read every comment. It's impossible. So luckily, when you have a smaller audience, you can be a little more interactive. And I just feel when you're streaming, you have to be on. You have to be aware of what you're gonna say. You can't let certain words slip out. You know, you can't. You have to be politically correct. Unfortunately, you have to be aware. You have to have people that help you out if there's trolls. Like in the live streams are the worst. Like comments are one thing, but live chats is another, because you have people coming in and using, you know, profanity that is not politically correct, stuff like that, and it's just a whole different environment. It's a lot, to me. It's easier to be on and actually doing it as opposed to shooting a Let's Play and you're only interacting with yourself and the camera or whoever's with you. Right. It's a lot easier to actually being something that feels organic, something that feels like it's, you know, it's moving, it's active, it's live. And it to me, I compare it to being like on live TV, because when you're live streaming, your phone could go off, somebody could ring the doorbell, your house could get on fucking fire. Pardon, I don't know if you're cussing on, you know, like this. You know,
beep it out. It goes on TV.
Your house could get on fire. You know, your dog could tear up the house. Your internet could go out while you're live streaming. It's a whole different, more spontaneous, chaotic, anything else. And it is, because you have to be on. Yeah. If you're not feeling good and you're not talking, people are going to be like, why aren't you reading comments? Why aren't you talking? Why aren't you acknowledging me? And people need to remember, you're human too. You're just as human as that person is. No matter how big of an audience you have, you are, anybody that is alive, breathing, has a fucking heart that's beating, you're all a person, right, no matter who you are. So, you know, yeah, you know, people, oh, you're not talking to the chat. Sometimes you're just tired or you zone out. Like if it's a hard game, yeah, like Fallout 4, there was parts where I had to focus on what's going on and the chat's like, hey, and then you see people that ask the same question and it goes all caps. What are your thoughts on Nintendo NX? What are your thoughts on, if you're on an island, what games do you want to take? Like, I honestly, I prefer questions that aren't about video games. Right. When people ask me something spontaneous, ask me something about wrestling, ask me something about food, ask me something about sports. You know, football season's coming up. Ask me about, you know, talk shit to me about Tony Romo. You know, do that. Gaming to me, it's not everything. You know, it is, but it's not. Like I don't need to tell you the same question that I answered 20 times, and that's the one thing. Like people come in and go and they ask the same thing that other people have done. It's almost like you want to put like an FAQ on the side. This is my favorite game. This is my favorite this and that. My console. Blah blah blah. So yeah.
Right on. Well, man, I don't want to take more of your time. I appreciate you taking a minute. Yeah. Go check out Eric's channel. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.